mainly want to keep this about you guys and you guys able to check in with how everyone's doing. Thank you so much to Adam Cohen for helping out and plugging with some of the guys from his generation. Really great to have you join us on the call and some of your former players. And Coach Stark as well. Really cool that we got all three of us on the call with and Coach Heichemer as well. But I'll throw it to
assistant Coach Heichemer.
That's right.
I'll throw it to Adam and to Michael first, if you guys want to kind of say anything briefly first, and then I'll give a quick hits on program updates, and then we'll go around the room and see where everybody's checking in from and how everybody's doing. So, Adam, you want to kick it off?
Yeah, just, things I'm still coaching. Most of you probably know that. I'm at Ohio State. Year 6 just ended, so it's going by quick. I know I spoke to Gilbert a little bit through Facebook today, and it was 10 years now that those guys have been out of school with Sven's group. These guys are all now, 30 years, a little bit more than 30 years old, so starting families, having kids. So it's good to stay connected with all of my guys and good to know about everybody else. So, yeah.
Cool. Yeah, you have a decent program at Ohio, huh?
Yeah. Coach Heichemer came down and watched the Buckeyes play Florida State. If anybody, we had a good match against those guys on national TV. We snuck one out, 4-3, saved maybe 5 match points at the 4 singles line. So that was fun to be a part of. Too bad for the kids that the season ended the way it did. But, we need to be alive. And so hopefully next year we can get back out on the courts.
Yeah, cool. Michael?
Yes. First off, Adam, we really missed you. It's great to see you on this conference call. Really heartwarming. Hope you're not so little and young kid is still playing tennis along with hockey.
Yeah.
If your team ever drops below top 10 in the country, we're blaming it on you. To Coach Heichemer, really appreciate Nick doing this. I really appreciate Nick inviting assistant coaches as well. That's very generous of him. And Nick, just done a great job. Really glad you did this. It's just heartwarming. I really don't want to take up any more time, but hello to everyone. Hope you're all doing well in this crazy time. I'm on a boat in the middle of a river in Pennsylvania fishing, so life is pretty good. And Nick, with that, I'll turn it over to Hike.
Yeah, so I'm down here in Jupiter, Florida. Been down here probably full time for about 5 years. And our son, I got a chance to see Adam all the time because our son spent the previous 4 years at Ohio State before he graduated last May. And he's now working up there full time for a company called Legends, doing some work for the OSU Alumni Association. So I've gotten a chance to see some women's matches and some men's matches up there. And like Adam said, I got a chance to see Adam and his wife's parents, at the match in Orlando, which was, 2 things. Number one, the USTA facility was fantastic. And second, it was fun to see a top level match again. But yeah, so I'm just enjoying the warm weather down here. But like everybody else, we're quarantined because we're in Palm Beach County, and Palm Beach County, Miami-Dade County, and Broward County are all still shut down pretty much. Our golf courses are open, so that's good. But and the tennis just opened, I think, about a week ago. But yeah, so it's strange for all of us. Good to see you, Starkey.
Likewise.
So Ludo, I know you said you got to jump off the call here quick, so I'll let you kick it off. And since we got so many generations, give a quick snapshot of what year you graduated, where you're at in the world right now, and what's going on with you.
Yeah, hello everyone. Yeah, sorry, I'm jumping in between different meetings and different calls. I graduated last year. It has been 4 great years at BU, and currently right now I'm actually in Binghamton. I'm a graduate student at Cornell, so I'm not too far. So I try to be back as much as possible. And I'm just staying here in these crazy times with the family I'm pretty close to, just not to die of loneliness in my apartment up in Ithaca. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Nothing else to add.
So technically, Ludo is still on staff. We added him as a volunteer assistant. He's helped out when possible, which has been great because he was had a fantastic career and was a great worker for us on court and off court. So I guess we'll start with the most recent. We've got Dan Pergle's on the team right now. Some of the guys are in finals, but Dan, you can give a little background on where you're coming from, and then we'll start zooming around to all corners of the globe.
Yeah, sure. So I'm a freshman. I'm about to finish my first year. I got finals week coming up back end of this week and then beginning of next week. I'm from Ottawa, Canada. So that's where I'm at right now. I've been here for like a month since they kicked me out of school. And yeah, no, it was good though. I liked my first year, even though it was cut short. Had a really good time, and I'm really excited to come back for the next 3.
Awesome. Well, I'm going to kind of follow the grid as it is on my screen. So, Alper, you want to give us a little, not everybody knows, what year you graduated, what you've been up to since Binghamton, and how the world is in your corner.
Oh, hello, everyone. It's so nice to see you guys. So it's been a while. I left Binghamton around 2015. Since then, I am back in Turkey, Istanbul, and pursuing my PhD studies. So everything is fine in Turkey. So far, so good for now.
And you said you were working on a PhD, and what was that in?
Oh, in computer science, in blockchain area. But like it seems like it's been almost 4.5 years. I hope I will be able to finish it as soon as possible. So again, it's so nice to see you all, you guys.
That's cool. All right.
Good to see you.
Sven.
I graduated 2011. So that's 9 years ago, this month also, I think. I stayed in New York for 3 years in the city. Then I moved back to Holland again, where I'm from, and live in Amsterdam since then. So that's now for 2014, so 5.5 years I live back in Amsterdam. And yeah, now, well, I actually go to work again. I worked from home for a couple of days, but I didn't really like working from home too much. And the office is quite small and everybody works from home, so I was basically the only one there. So I go to work still, but yeah, everything is closed. Not much to do. Well, what we did, my parents have a shoe store, so they also nobody came anymore. So we built a whole website for them. So now we have like a website with a web shop for them. So that I've been busy with for the last month or so. So that's kind of cool from this whole crisis, I guess. And for the rest, it's really quiet here also, like everywhere, I think.
Now, since you left, I mean, you had quite the career winning regionals twice. You play it all after, or keep the stick in your hand?
Well, I didn't play for about 4 years. In New York, it was very hard, so I barely played. I moved to Holland, and I really wanted to play, but it took me like a year before I signed up at a club again. So then I started playing, and since then I play like once a week or something. I play in a league here, and I actually got better in the beginning because I hadn't played for so long. And last year was a little less good again. So I mean, I still play, but not a lot, of course, like once, twice a week. But yeah, they also closed the tennis club here, so.
That's cool. And Neil, I appreciate your enthusiasm for getting this going. And you've been a stalwart for all of our alumni events and getting people together in person. But I think this may be a cool way moving forward to build on what you've done and helping us get like the event at the U.S. Open and our homecoming to do something virtual like this once a year, because we got so many alumni all over the world where getting on a flight and getting to Binghamton may not always be an option. But give the guys a little intro on where you're at right now and what you've been up to.
It's great to see guys from across the globe, and it would be wonderful to be able to meet you one day, if not this year, then in the ensuing years at one of the events back on campus or perhaps at the U.S. Open. It's a great group of guys, and first of all, I graduated in 1980, so I go pretty far back. And it's just great to meet and hook up with so many guys who played, who were part of the program after me, and who really helped develop the program. It's a real pleasure. It helps keep me young. It helps motivate me to continue to play. And I'm just continually impressed and blown away by the quality of guys coming out of the school, coming out of the program, what they're doing with their lives, what great citizens they've become. So it's wonderful to meet you guys and to meet you guys from around the world. And I think I share the same view as Nick does, that we should take our shared common experience and really treat it as a brotherhood, for lack of a better word, because we share the same passion. We have the same backgrounds in terms of our tennis careers and our overlap. And so the guys that I've met so far through my affiliation with the alumni groups have been fantastic. And I look forward to meeting as many of you in the future as possible. Along those lines, last year we coordinated the first annual alumni event, Binghamton alumni event at the U.S. Open, and it was kind of sponsored by the men's tennis team. And we had a nice showing, not only of former players, but of alumni in general. So it was a great entree into getting into the Open, spending the first day of the Open, which is typically the best day to go. And we tentatively are going to repeat that. I think it's August 31st. But again, everything is contingent upon how the Open is being run, whether it's going to be open to spectators, and whether the spectators are going to want to assemble en masse, with a lot of other people. So as of now, the U.S. Open is on, and we did have some plans about this homecoming in Binghamton to have a reunion. The theme of that reunion was Champions Weekend, honoring all team and individual champions and guys who almost were champions. And hopefully we can still pull that off at homecoming. But opportunities as we can to stay in touch. And I know I personally benefited a great deal from meeting guys like Michael Lane, Nick, and reconnecting with Mike Stark. And Coach Cohen, I got to thank you. You probably don't remember, but the first time I came back to a tennis alumni weekend was one that you put on. And the two guys that came back were myself and Mark Goldberg. And it was the first time that I had, played with the ramped up upscale. I don't remember if you were Division I or Division II, and just blown away by the quality of the guys at that time. And it was a real treat for us just to be on the same court with you guys. So thank you for planting the seed. That was a good 15 years ago. Thank you for planting the seed, which ultimately germinated and created in me a desire to keep everybody, get everybody together once in a while. So thank you.
Oh, for sure.
Thanks, Neil. Yeah, it's been a blast working with you, Neil, and you've introduced me through your energies to a lot of different people. So we'll pop over to Alex Masin, and same deal. Let us know when you graduated and where you're at in the world and what you've been up to.
Okay, so hi everybody. First, I'd like to say also thank you to Adam for inviting me to this meeting. I think it's a great idea. It's good to see you that you're doing so well at Ohio. Doesn't surprise me though, because you were doing really good at Binghamton as well. You're a great coach. It's also good to see some of my ex-teammates like Alper, Florian. So I was in the team, I think it was 2013, 14. I only stayed 2 years at Binghamton because I finished my studies here in Belgium. I'm a construction engineer, and most of the classes here in Europe are regarding European regulations, so I couldn't finish school at university in Binghamton. So I've started to work for 3 or 4 years now. I'm moving in with my girlfriend in September, and it's actually my girlfriend from before I left Binghamton. So we've been together now for 8 or 9 years, and we survived the jump for me moving to Binghamton, which is pretty cool. Really don't know what else to say. I'm excited to hear about the rest of you, like Florian, who was my roommate for 1 year. Yeah, it's just good to see you all.
Alex, same question I asked Sven. You get out on court at all? You play?
I haven't played at all since I got back. It's kind of the same when I continued my studies here. It was pretty much impossible to play because you got to move to another city, and you're in the middle of a city. It's difficult. But then I just didn't really pick it up when I started working. I actually started playing golf instead. So now I'm playing golf instead of tennis.
Good man, Alex.
Yeah.
Easy on your body.
Yeah, I really enjoy golf though. Like, if my girlfriend doesn't like it because I'm away every single weekend playing golf, but really, really enjoy golf.
Wait till you have kids.
Thanks, Alex. That's great to hear from you. We'll jump down to Foz.
Hey guys, nice to see some familiar faces here. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Faisal Mohammed. I graduated in 2008, so about 12 years ago. Wow, more than 12. Wow, it's crazy. Since college, I've been working in finance. Currently, I work for a health and wellness company called Nature's Bounty. So business is booming right now. I'm the finance director for our vitamin company. It's out here based in New York. And, it's been crazy. I got coronavirus right early on with my wife. My cat even got it. So the first 2 weeks were miserable. But things have settled down a lot. So happy to survive that. And, now just my whole life is Zoom. So it's unfortunate, but it is what it is. Still playing tennis. Actually think I'm playing better now than I played in college. Actually visiting a gym now and lifting weights. Kind of was avoiding that in college, but that's I'm actually since I left Binghamton, I was coaching a kid. His name is Ethel Bennett, and he's about 24 in the nation right now. He plays for Purdue. So actually, I still play with him. Actually, I kicked his ass last week, but that was questionable line calls. Very questionable line calls and serious trash talking. But nothing changes. Same old fast, I guess you could say. And I definitely miss it. So I try to stay around the game. Coaching now and then here and there, but mainly just to be around the sport and let my frustration out. I'm married, so there's a lot of frustration to let out. So, but other than that, things have been pretty good. Sucks that New York is in quarantine, but it is what it is.
Where are you located? We're in New York.
I'm in Nassau County. I'm in Lynbrook.
I'm in Nassau also.
Yeah.
You got to hook up.
Yeah. So we got it pretty bad here, the coronavirus. But my wife works in the city. She's actually a chef. So she's taking the subway, the railroad. So I knew I was going to get it. But everyone said it was just going to be a flu. So I was welcoming it at first. Then it bit me in the ass real hard. And, luckily it's been okay. My parents are kind of sick right now, so I can't really see them. My dad just had a heart procedure, so got to avoid him. But I try to avoid him anyway, so it's now I have a good excuse.
Sorry to hear about the struggles, Foz, but and you didn't help us quite enough on Ethel. We had him up here for a visit, and I know we were one of the schools that kind of made his top 5 as he was narrowing down the choices. But yeah, he had a heck of a career at Purdue, and he's in line for. I'm on the national committee, so the national awards are going to come out pretty soon. He's in line for one of the big ones. So kudos to you for doing a good job helping him out.
Yeah, it's honestly unbelievable to see his progress. So good for him.
So we gotta. I'll stay on you about getting somebody else from the city up here that can win some matches for us. But
I got another one, but it's going to take another 7 years though. So you have to give me some time.
I'll be checking back in with you. Thanks for the updates. We'll slide over to Florian and see what's going on in your neck of the woods. And the same thing, tell us a little about what year you graduated, what you've been up to.
Yeah, hi everyone, and thanks for making this happening, Nick and Adam. It's great to see everyone. And well, I graduated in 2014, and since then I went back to Germany and did a master's. I also lived in London for half a year, and now I'm working for 2 years in real estate investment in Frankfurt, which is actually my hometown. And yeah, so moved back to Germany after spending a lot of time abroad, and I'm still playing tennis. Keeping it up as much as I can. I actually still play for a team here because team tennis is a big deal in Germany, and but it's I would have to say rather mediocre performance. I usually play like once a week, so you cannot expect that much. Courts are closed, but I hope that they will open again soon, so that's something to look forward to. Other than that, I'm working from home as most of you, and my family as well. I actually have a brother who also played college tennis in LA on the other side of the country. And he is now pursuing a master's in screenwriting in New York. So he's also in like UFAS in the epicenter, but keeping it up and going for runs in Central Park. Imagine, he seems to be doing quite well. So it's really great to see everyone, and also excited to hear from more of you. I haven't seen all of you. I think Alex, the last time we saw each other must have been in Binghamton, unfortunately. And I think on this call, the last person I saw was Sven, right? A couple of years ago in Madrid.
When we went to Madrid, I remember, for a weekend full of rain, I remember.
Yes, walking around Madrid and finding a good bar. That's what I remember as well. Yeah, in the rain.
Yeah, it was a fun weekend, nevertheless.
Yeah, but
I saw Florian at a bar in New York City one time too. It was like St. Patty's Day. Remember?
Yes, I do remember. But it was always great times in New York City. Actually, not trying to call you out here fast, but I was in New York last year, the year before, in 2018 it was, and you never replied to me, so I'm expecting more next time I come.
I was in New York in January, and you replied fast.
I have like 900 missed emails, 211 missed text messages, 117 missed calls.
What's wrong with you? Why are you not taking this?
I don't know.
Just too busy. Okay.
Exactly.
So Florian,
I only picked up from my wife.
Florian, when you and Sven met up in Madrid, was that just coincidental that you guys were there, or was that kind of a planned trip ahead of time?
It was planned. Yeah, it was. We keep in touch through a WhatsApp group once in a while, and someone had the idea. I think may have been Rafa, who was coming to Europe at the time. He plans a little Europe trip. Rafa Rodriguez, every other year or so, and Ruben Age. He's not on this call, I think, but he was living there at the time. So that was we just picked a nice spot for everyone.
That's cool. That's great to hear. What level are you playing in Germany? I played a season of Verbandsliga in Bonn a while ago.
Yeah, I play Verbandsliga as well.
Okay, that's cool.
The second in my state. Yeah,
that's cool. So we'll slide over Kushan. I know I kind of skipped you when I started with the current players when I went right to Dan, but you're down in the corner of my window, so
I'm
oversight.
technically still part of it. I'm not graduated yet.
Give the guys a little rundown on what you're up to and where you're coming from.
So I just got to Chicago. My parents live here, so they drove up to Binghamton and they sort of picked me up. They drove for like 24 hours. So we just got back here, I think 2 days ago. So yeah, so far I have like a final project that's due in 5 days. That's the last thing before I graduate. And after, I'm planning to do a master's in business analytics in University of Miami, or I also have the option of doing a 1-year MBA at Binghamton. I'm still kind of finalizing which way I'm gonna go.
Well, you have more eligibility at Binghamton, don't you?
Yes. I have 1 more year of eligibility.
All right.
So it's good to hear from you guys. It's always nice to be a part of the alumni meetings and the networking events. I always enjoy those. It's they're fun.
Well, you're the latest, the newest member in a couple of weeks. So welcome.
Thank you.
Yeah, Kushan had a good career. He actually came out of India when he came over. His family's moved, but he was a co-captain this year and always played at or near the top of the lineup in singles and doubles and did well in school too. So if he comes back, he'll be able to help us a lot next year. But if he moves on, we'll be looking forward to keeping tabs on where he goes off to next. And then Jamie, we don't have the video on you, but let's give the guys the same spiel and hear how.
Yeah, so I'm in Tampa, and sorry about the video. My work setup doesn't have a video on it, but things are, so for those of you that I know, I've spoken to some of you, Dan, and I've had a couple conversations, but I'm a physician pathologist down in Tampa, and I kind of build and run large-scale women's health laboratories at the medical school just north of Binghamton in Syracuse, but then actually spent my 3rd and 4th year in Binghamton to come back to the place that I kind of loved being at. And, down here in Tampa, it's not nearly what the mess is up in New York. We've already started reopening the state, at least on the outside of Broward, Miami-Dade, and Palm Beach counties. And the beaches opened in Clearwater and St. Pete on Monday. The parks are starting to open, and we've got restaurant capacity at 25%. So things are returning a little bit more, say, normal, but we are at least slowly moving towards reopening the state, which is very reassuring, I think, for everybody around here. And it's always nice to also wake up to warm weather every day, especially in a time like this, even when we were kind of confined to our homes. As an essential employee, as a healthcare provider, I still went to work every day. We just took very precautions to make sure nobody showed up to work sick or, all that stuff. And actually, I had a few last week, nothing respiratory, but just to make sure I didn't spread anything in my own laboratory, I went and got a COVID-19 test, which was negative. So, anyway, I had the pleasure of having the nasal swab stuck up in my nose. We actually have the equipment that we can do COVID-19 testing in our laboratory, even though we're a women's health laboratory. And so our manufacturer that supplies that stuff is actually going to be finished making the reagents probably at the end of this month. So we'll probably start doing COVID-19 testing, high throughput COVID-19 testing sometime in June. And it's not really going to be for symptomatic patients because our patient population is generally pregnant patients and patients that go to their OBGYN. It's more for patients with pre-op surgery and third trimester pregnancies, just so they know that when they're delivering, whether they have it or not, they need to take precautions. So we will be jumping into the COVID-19 pandemic when reagents become available down here and through our current vendor. We have actually 5 high throughput machines that we could actually run the testing on that we normally do our gonorrhea, chlamydia, HPV, and vaginitis testing on. So we got kind of lucky that we'll be able to jump into that and help kind of the the whole state, because we take samples from all over the state of Florida. We have about almost 600 providers in our system. So our volumes have significantly declined because a lot of our offices either closed, we're doing telehealth, or only taking emergent cases. But we're starting to finally come back up, and people are starting to leave their homes and go to their doctor and all that stuff. So kind of that's where we are down here. Glad to hear everybody's doing so well and staying safe, and still available for anybody. I know Dan and I have spoken, he said a couple times on his career development, but anybody that wants to ever reach out that's in the medical field or not. I mean, I do kind of an entrepreneurial side of medicine at this point, but I'm happy to talk to any, recent alumni or current students about, opportunities in healthcare and things like that, and, share my story. I do come up there once a year during the homecoming weekend, and I talk at a medical, it's sort of geared towards pre-medical students, where we have several either physicians that will talk to all the pre-med students, just give them how we got to where we did and how Binghamton helped us get there, et cetera, et cetera. So I do that once a year during homecoming. Hopefully homecoming will go as planned this year, and I'll be able to do the same thing again, but and then also talk to the team again and hang out with you guys. It's a really pleasure kind of being able to interact with some of the younger guys, and play with them and see what high quality they are, both athletically and academically and personality wise. So it's just a pleasure seeing what great kids that Nick has been able to recruit to play for the team. It's really an honor to kind of be part of the whole thing.
Thanks, Jamie. Kudos to you for the work that you guys been doing, and you've been awesome with helping out and talking to the guys, and for all the. I mean, it's such a special program to be a part of, with how many people are willing to talk to our players in the program. That helps with recruiting and being able to get guys who understand that they're going to have help moving on in careers after. So. Really appreciate all. And we have one of our signees coming in, Kyle Weeks, another Canadian guy, is really strong player who's going to be doing the pharmacy program, which is a new addition to the academic offerings. So he's looking at doing like the 2+4, the 3+4 program, which has been cool to have a recruit getting into that new program at Binghamton. So I think we just had Michael Lane join us on the call. So Michael, what we've been doing is kind of floating around the room and letting everybody give a little intro on when you graduated from the program and how things are going in your neck of the woods these days. So I'll let you kind of intro yourself for those that may not know you so well.
Sure. Good to see I can only see 9 at a time. So good to see nine of you at one moment. And thank you, Nick. You're one of the ones I can see. I can see Charlie. I see Dan up in the right hand. So I see a few familiar faces. So Michael Lane, I live in Austin, Texas. I actually was commuting to Manhattan every week, and my last flight was March 11th back to Austin from New York, and have been here since. Like everybody, working from home, and I'm a director at BlackRock, so I head up the ETF business for BlackRock, the exchange traded fund business for BlackRock for All Wealth, and very still involved in the tennis scene and then in the Binghamton tennis program. Still playing a lot. In fact, probably playing too much, which is why I'm in this setting instead of in my normal office. I'm in my guest house right now because I had a skin cancer procedure yesterday, so I am very red right now. That's why I'm standing way back so I don't scare anybody. So I have to take a couple of days off tennis, which is killing me. I can't get in the sunlight, so I'm in a blacked out guest house, except for a skylight really bright behind me. I've been so blessed to have been part of the Binghamton tennis program, met tons of people. It's still very involved. Actually hired a coach again for the first time in a long time. So I'm working with Craig O'Shaughnessy right now on tennis strategy, which is kind of funny after all these years, getting back on the court with Craig once a week, because that's socially distant. We're 75, 80 feet apart. pace at your own court. You still have people come over. But I'm pretty much hitting every day still and enjoying the awesome weather. But other than playing tennis, pretty much not leaving the house. So tennis is the social outlet during social distancing. So anyway, that's me.
Thanks, Michael. Tell Craig to call me back.
Okay, I will. I was on the court with him. Had the procedure done yesterday, so I was on the court with him last Tuesday. Actually, it was funny. Sunday, I played a match. He came, videotaped the match, stayed for the whole match, 2.5 hour match, and at my house here with a hitting partner. And so now we're going to sit down and go through it. So it's kind of fun after I'm 52. I've been out of the tennis scene for a long time at a highly competitive level. And but it just shows the young guys like Dan, who's on my screen. Unfortunately, you look like you're about 12 years old right now, Dan. young Dan, who I've actually had a chance to practice with and play. He doesn't go away. At 52, you're still just as fired up and competitive, and it was one of the few outlets. Like, it's really tough to compete at work. Get kind of pissed at you when you compete with them at work, and so it's nice to be able to get on the tennis court, regardless of how old you are and far away from the sport you've been.
Thanks, Michael, and your support has been much appreciated. Very grateful for having you a part. It really is such a unique. I haven't been a part of a number of different college programs. The Binghamton experience really is something special with the school, with the area, with the alumni and the involvement. And so I'm grateful to have Adam and Michael and who've gone before me on the call and trying to keep that legacy going. If people want to hang on and go around the room for a quick, maybe favorite road trip story. I'll let I skipped over Coach Ellis. I'll let him say hi quick, and Charlie, you can introduce yourself quickly for those who don't know yet.
Sorry, one second. Coach, I would like to sign up for the Alumni versus the current team match.
Bring it.
now we can take the current team.
Hey man, as long as homecoming goes off, we'll get that going on court. And I like that we're getting some trash talk going. Dan, you can take that back to the rest of the current roster.
I will. I definitely will. I'm putting it in the. I'll wait. I'll put it in the chat later. I'm sure the guys are gonna come fired up to beat you.
All right.
So Charlie.
Yeah, guys. I'm Charlie Ellis. I've been with the program now 3 years. I was a former Georgia player. I batted it around a little bit down at University of Georgia, and I just want to say to you coaches, the past coaches, we've got a tremendous history here with Pollard, Cohen, and Rick, Michael, and Nick, and I may have missed one or two in there, but you guys have, I see a tremendous amount of great history here, and each one of you players that have, gone through the battles here, and academically and athletically, and the ones that are going through it now, you won't turn around until about 35, 40 years old and start realizing how precious and valuable these experiences are. And when you're in the fray, you don't really get it. But now, you looking back on it, a lot of y'all are beginning to really get it. So what Nick and I are trying to do is we're trying to put together and keep this tradition going and put together a platform that connects everybody on a reasonably regular basis so that you understand and know what each of our players are doing, where they're from, what kind of degrees they're trying to achieve, and try to connect the world with this platform. So Nick and I are working on some initiatives like that right now. And there are some really unusual things about each of our players on our team that you all would find interesting, I think, and also humorous. Like I want to know how you know your cat has coronavirus. Do you stick it out the window, facial, out the car window and have him tested? How do we do that? A cat. But, those are things that are kind of fun, unusual things about all of us that really have each of us stand out as individuals. And I could go through example after example of the current guys on our team. And as a Georgia Bulldog, I always am curious about calling Manny down there and finding out who does what and what their MO has been. And it's just a nice connection. So hopefully we can keep this going. Again, guys, I want to thank you for your support and even just coming on here, whether it be financial or in spirit and organizational skills. And we just really are, I'm excited about keeping it going and being a part of it. And Nick and I have got I will tell you one thing about Nick. He has never in 3 years embarrassed us on or off the court. He is a top professional, and we are so grateful of having him aboard as a leader and a head coach at this school. So let's just keep it going. And any questions that you guys have, please feel free to just knock on our doors virtually or physically.
And Charlie, your last comment there hits really close to home, considering I live in Austin, Texas, and UT's coach just got sentenced to 6 months in prison. So not embarrassing is a whole different level.
Thank you, Charlie. And yeah, it's been great to have Charlie a part of the program. But yeah, so let's have some go around with some quick hits, maybe a quick your favorite match or your favorite road trip, and we'll try to keep it quick so everybody can sneak in at least one memory, or if you want to dish on a roommate or something like that from the past. But let's start at the top of the coaching staff. Adam, you got a favorite match or road trip from your Binghamton days?
Sorry, my dogs are getting a bit crazy, but anyways, I was saying Faisal Mohammed, that was a huge victory for our program at that time when we beat Cornell at their place. That might have been my second year. I came there in 2006-07, and then in 7-8, Faisal won the deciding match on the first court. That was a pretty special moment. I remember stopping in Owego, eating a huge meal. You just guys order whatever they want. And I mean, it was something that started everything from there forward for our program. So that was, it's nice to see Fast on his call and to remember that time. And it just kind of kickstarted everything forward for our time when we were there until 14. So, yeah.
That's cool. I'll stay on the top of the screen. Alper, you got a favorite match or road trip story?
First, I have a favorite experience. Like when I was in first time in United States, Coach Cohen invited us for a barbecue. Like it was a very unique experience, and I remember first time I played baseball, and I had a hit by my eye. Like everyone was so upset. They were keep asking me, "Are you okay?" So that the moment I realized I was part of the team, and like the best matches, of course, when we win the finals, like everyone was united. It was a good experience.
That's cool. That's cool. Sven.
I think I have the whole year when I was a junior was pretty special because we just kept winning that year for some reason. A particular match I remember was as a freshman was fastest last year also when we beat UMBC in the final, and then Arnav hitting that one-handed backhand passing shot. I think it was match point down or something, and he ended up winning, and that was like our America East victory. I think that was also the first time we won America East again in a couple of years. That was my first year then. That was quite a special match, I remember. And of course, I remember the match at Cornell also. I didn't really understand it because I didn't really know what is the Ivy League or whatever. But I understood that it was a pretty big deal for a lot of the other guys and for the program.
That's cool. That's cool. Rick.
So I guess my favorite, Nick, was your first year when we went out to Chicago and then got caught coming back in about an 8-hour ride back from Rochester. We couldn't see our hand in front of our face driving back. The vans that BU gave us were so bad that we had to literally pull off the side of the road and beat the snow off of the windshield wipers. And I pulled into my driveway at 6 o'clock in the morning, and I think probably moved to Florida the next day.
We've been there.
I remember that we pulled onto campus dropping the guys off, and then we were passing the yellow school buses picking the kids up to go to like elementary school.
Absolutely. Brutal.
That was terrible.
We've all been there on that one.
Absolutely.
Michael, I think you were trying to jump in and say something and got cut off there.
I had to look it up real quick to see when Sven actually graduated, because there's a bunch of guys I play with that are 29, 30, 31, and they're always like, Binghamton, they had a really good player there, didn't they? Something with an S, and it's like everybody always remembers Sven. Even one of the guys I practiced with that won the NCAAs, he around the same age, about 30 years old, must be about the same age as Sven. He graduated around 11 or so. And so it's very funny. He left a lasting impression on even guys that were NCAA champions know the name.
Good.
That's cool.
Good.
That's fantastic.
Are you sure it's not that face?
Huh?
Are you sure it's not that Kevin Bacon face of yours?
That's how they remember me, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
How about the T-shirts?
I never hear it anymore.
How about the T-shirts that Stony Brook made up they had either Sven's picture or be like
I
Sven
still have
or
one
something.
in the closet now.
Yep.
I got a version, luckily.
I remember hearing about that story even when I was down at Georgia Southern. Neil, you don't have any teammates on the call to reminisce with, but you got a favorite match or road trip story?
Yeah. Well, I guess in 1977, we were still Division III, of course, and our ultimate championship was the SUNY Athletic Conference Championship. Prior to 1977, Binghamton University, which was called SUNY Binghamton, had never taken home a championship ever. And in 1977, we won the SUNYACs. It was held in Albany, and that was the first. It was really exciting. But what I really remember from that weekend was the prior year, 1976, Queen released the song "We Are the Champions." So we actually got to sing that song on the van ride home on a timely basis when that song was actually released for the first time. So that was pretty exciting.
We still sing it.
That's awesome. That's awesome, Neil. Alex Masin, you got a favorite match or memory?
If I got to remember one match, it's probably just the whole trip down to Georgia after winning our regions. So I think Georgia was like the second or the fourth seed. So there's no way we're going to win anything, but we just had to keep playing and hoping you weren't the one that had to lose, so you were unfinished, and you didn't lose. But just the whole thing after like staying the whole winter in the cold Binghamton, cold, and then at the end we could go to Georgia where it's like 100 degrees Fahrenheit, and it was just a great ending to a year.
Georgia? At
What?
Georgia?
Yeah, at Georgia. So
At the stadium?
Yeah, at the big stadium. It's just great. Yeah, it was just a good finish to a year where we won the American East, and we could go there, which was
That's
I remember that.
A little cheaper stadium here this week down there.
Yeah, they spent a few bucks renovating that.
Just a few dollars.
Faz.
Yeah, I mean, so many funny memories. I mean, I had the privilege, I guess, to have two different coaches, so I have a lot of memories. I guess one with Mike Stark. I think we just finished playing Stony Brook, and we're in the van, so it's a 4 or 5 hour van ride, and I'm in the back because I'm a freshman, and so we're all just shooting the shit. We're talking shit, and then I remember I said something about Dan Henegby. I was like, "Oh, I can't wait till your girlfriend comes so I could see her," and then the car goes silent. And Dan goes, "Coach, pull over right now." And Coach pulled over, and Dan told me to get out of the car, and he just like wailed on me. And I was just like, oh my God, even coach is scared of Dan. You know, and we were doubles partners. And so, I mean, we had a good bond after that. I mean, it actually kind of brought us closer. But it was definitely a funny time. And then with Adam, it was funny because when Adam joined, we were like, oh, you know what? We're just going to walk all over this guy. He has no idea what he's getting himself into. We were like the New Yorkers. We thought we were like the Jordan bad boys because the year before I got kicked out of the American East Conference. So I was just, you know, everyone knew me as the bad boy. So I was like, this guy Adam, he's fun. And I remember like we were still feeling Adam out, and we're on our way to our ITAs, and me and this kid Moshe Levy, we're like, Adam never talks. Like all he talks about is tennis. So we're driving in the van, and we're on our way to Pennsylvania, and then out of nowhere, Adam pulls to the left of these girls in the car. Adam rolls the window down, and the girls roll the window down, and Adam's like, "Hey, what's your friend's name?" And like I could not, like, we must have laughed for like an hour straight after that, because like Adam is like the most serious, intense guy, and then he just busts this joke, and it was like after that, like we all loved Adam. We're like, oh my God, he you know, he's not just a machine, he's also, you know, this funny guy. So it was a good time.
How's your cat?
Cat is good. So I knew it had coronavirus because it was coughing like crazy. And at first I thought it was a fur ball, but then he started hiding under my boiler for a week. And the poor guy, he's a fighter though.
It's important.
Yeah.
That's fantastic. Florian, what you got?
Yeah, I'd probably take my first year where we played, I think it was UMBC at Flushing Meadows, the US Open site. I don't remember why I was there in this year, but yeah, the conference final was there, and we we won it, and it was my first year, so big experience there. I think we won quite high as well, and unfortunately none of the players are here. I mean, obviously Adam was there, but also Faz, you were supporting us. Oh no, and Sven as well. Faz and Sven, I think you both came down, which was from New York, which was really great. And you supported us quite loudly. So I would say that was a great win of the conference, so quite memorable. And we got to go to Mississippi that year, which was a nice experience as well for the first round of the nationals. Yeah, so pretty vivid memory still, although it's been a while.
That's cool. That's cool. Kush, we'll even though your future's uncertain, you've been here long enough. We'll give you a shot at your favorite road trip match or story.
I'm thinking there's so many road trip matches that were different, unique in each ways, but I think the freshman year when we played VCU, I think that one was really good because we've lost a couple matches. It was my freshman year. We had not won like that many. We were in a losing record. We had like 1 or 8 or 7 or something like that. And we went to play VCU, which was the team at that time. They were winning the A10. And we went there. I remember I started my match. I didn't know what to expect out of VCU. I'd never played them before. So I started off the match winning the first set 6-0. And then I look to my left and my right. And then I see like Ludo there and Tiago there. And they absolutely demolished their first sets too. So the 3 of us at 1, 2, and 3, we were over in like 40 minutes, 1 hour. And then Inigo clinched the match at 4-2. And I remember at that time, since we were a lot of freshmen, Nick had been pushing us to be supportive, even though when the match was over, like we always be there for our teammates, keep on cheering. And I think Josh was the one who went on to play 6 after the match was already finished. And I remember all of the team just sitting in a corner, laughing, talking, no one looking at Josh's match, and Josh was still tight and he was still losing even though the match was won, and he was so nervous, but we all had a blast, and it was a good time.
Yeah, I've never seen anything like that. At 1, 2, and 3, we won 15 straight games. It was 5-0, 5-0, 5-0 against a good team. I've never seen anything like that. Michael Lynn.
Yeah, I have to run 1 minute because I'm late for another call, but for work. But I will say nothing about any of my days on the court or days in the van or days with Michael Stark, who would disappear during some matches. You'd know where he went. But I won't say anything about that. But I will say that it's great to be on this. I've never been on a call or in a meeting or in a room with Sven. Great to see Sven with a lot of the people on this call. But the one that I'm circling through here, I think, is the reason I got back involved in Binghamton. So I graduated in '89, and I lost complete touch with Binghamton until about 2004, 2005. And the reason I got back involved was because Michael Stark, which now would probably be an NCAA violation, Michael Stark got in touch through the development office of Binghamton because he wanted to put together a scholarship fund for, I believe, Fazl Muhammad on this call. And he was looking for 5 alumni to each put $1,000 up to help fund a scholarship, I believe, for Faz. And if I remember correctly, are you from Israel? No? All right, maybe it wasn't you. But I thought it was you because it was 2004, 2005. You were there from 2004 to 2008. So pretty sure maybe I got the Israel thing wrong. But it may have been you. And he was trying to put a scholarship together for one of the guys during that era. And he came and
Moshe Levy.
Moshe Levy. I'm sorry, Faisal wasn't you. Sorry about that. Moshe Levy. It was Moshe Levy. That's what actually got me back involved in Binghamton and participated.
Yeah, I was gonna say I think Mike swindled you. I don't remember. I don't remember getting that much scholarship, so I was like, something's not adding up.
I think Fast got about $5,000 total.
I think that's paying for Mike's boat right now that he's on.
Well, either way, I just say that it was one of the best things that happened to me to have Mike probably breaking the rule on that one, to look for for alumni to be putting the scholarship together. And that's got me back involved. So I sorry, it wasn't you, Faz, but it was Moshe with that. Now I remember it was Moshe. And it was a long time ago, but got me back involved in the school. I've been on the board now for 6-7 years, and really appreciate it. It was tennis that got me back in. So that's the last thing I'll say. And I have to run to this other call because I'm way late now. But great seeing everybody. Thanks for putting this together, Nick, and I hope to see everyone again soon.
Thanks for hopping on, Michael. And last but not
Bye,
least,
bye, Mike.
Bye.
Last but not least, we'll throw it down to Jamie to wrap it up.
Oh, is this about like interesting matches or whatever you were saying?
Favorite match, favorite road trip?
I mean, just interesting. I have a couple anecdotes. I mean, I remember playing in snow flurries in Rochester at RIT with a winter hat and a winter glove in my left hand. And I remember playing at University of Rochester on a warm, sunny day inside because they wanted the advantage of playing on those awfully 110-degree temperature courts. That was always fun. Yeah, so just, great road trips to Florida and the shenanigans that went on. Just a lot of fun. Great memories and teammates that I still talk to this day.
Hey, Nick and Adam, what are you guys doing regarding the seniors who will continue to have eligibility? Any thoughts about how that's going to impact your program next year, or both of your programs?
So from our end, we're waiting to see on Kushan's plans, and with Tiago is graduated for sure and starting grad school in Portugal. And then Sebastian is going to be graduating, and then he's definitely moving on to his master's. Not certain where he's going to be doing that, but definitely not at Binghamton. So for us, not a major impact with 2 of the 3 going. But Adam, I'm not sure how that's played out with your team.
Yeah, we had a red shirt senior girl. She could come back for year 6, but she's not going to do it. She's going to try to play some professional tennis. We also can call the shots on some, like the junior, the recruiting is getting more accelerated. We have commitments from like my son's class, the class of 21. So when we have a junior on the team now, even though she has 2 years again to play, basically it's the year over, we can say to her, if we feel like the high school kid is better, then we're only going to give her 1 more year and they'll put her on exhausted aid. So those choices are up to us on how we want to do it. But that class is impacted because this coming year is basically the year that you can be over your scholarship allotment. With women's tennis, you have 8 full scholarships, but if the seniors all came back and you had freshmen and the school could swing it financially, you could have teams that have, 11 scholarships or something. So, but after this 2021 season, and after that's over and you get into 21-22, then you have to be back under, or you have to be at 8 again. So yeah, people have to manage their rosters accordingly. So, but if you're in that 21 class and all of a sudden a junior on their current team decides, or you think that it's a better situation to have a 20-year-old senior than an 18-year-old freshman, then sometimes those commitments will get broken.
Yeah, from our end, we've got 4 freshmen coming back, so we've got a little time before we've got to worry about if they're going to try to use their 5th year or not. But like Dan's looking at med school, so that may help him out in something that he's looking at, possibly drawing that out. But from that standpoint, we're in a pretty good spot. I don't know if Michael Stark, if you're busy casting, or if you wanted to say any last words before.
Nick, well, first off, Jamie Shutter, if nothing else, I remember your Jose Cuervo tequila headband, which was against NCAA rules, but I allowed it. Kind of a sign of the times. And just, Nick, thank you so very much for doing this. This has been heartwarming for all of us, so just much appreciated.
Coach, you were really mad at me, by the way, when the NCAA people got, said something about my Jose Cuervo bandana. So you were not okay with it. You may have misremembered that little bit of history. Just saying, but thank you.
Oh, this has been fantastic. I really appreciate people, everybody jumping on the call. I'll hang around for a few minutes in case anybody wanted to ask any questions about the program or things that are going on, but I know we've gone over an hour now, and between work stuff and family stuff, people probably want to send it off. But yeah, I'll hang around if anybody wants to chat. But Adam, thanks so much for reaching out to your generation of guys. It was really great to catch up with everybody, and glad to hear everybody is doing well.
Yeah, no, for sure. I was just reading on the side about Fasselman saying about, I mean, there's just too many things. I was really trying hard to get, I know it was last minute for a lot of these guys, but, I reached out to everybody I could possibly think of. And I'm, hopefully if we do this again, we can get more people on there. But it is good to see everybody and good to hear everybody's stories. And the thing, I'm most proud. I mean, obviously we won a lot and it was great for the school, but it's nice to see that everybody is doing well in whatever profession they chose. I mean, everybody that played for me, I know is doing well. And that's really nice to see that people have good jobs. And I mean, I talked to John Benet today, Fass, a little bit, and I talked to John, who's a teammate of Fass's for a while. He's, married. He has a kid on the way. It's crazy how fast the time goes. You don't think it was that long ago, but then you look back and, I left 6 years ago and John was there when I got there in 2006. Tried to reach out to Alex Dobrin, just some of the guys that were there in the early days and then all the guys that followed after that. So hopefully we can do this again and more guys can join for sure.
All right. Well, thanks everyone. Stay safe, wash your hands, wear your face mask, do what you got to do. And we'll all persevere as Bearcats do.
Take care, y'all.
Nice.
Take care.
So,
Take care.
Take care, everyone.
Bye-bye.